With all of the people I talked about on my channel, it's occurred to me that I never really talked about Let Me Explain Studios. Well, at the very least it doesn't seem like I made a video about it until now. Upon diving into her content, I was like, hey, there's a lot we can learn here. Everything from growing a channel, voice acting, and even branding will be discussed and learned about in this video. And how can this apply to you? The viewers like you. But overall, I'm daftpina, and this is Rebecca Parham, Unsold Exile. Born at about 2:14 p.m. December 1987 in Texas, Rebecca Parham is a 32-year-old storytime animator on the YouTube platform. This information is brought to you by the Rebecca Parham fandom that, for some reason, decided to use this picture to show off who she is. On another note, she graduated from the Ringling College of Art and Design. And you might be saying, if she's an animation college graduate, what makes you suited to critique her? Well, keeping in mind that Didas, a person I talked about before, also graduated from an art school, sometimes we need critiques from time to time.
Well, backgrounds are always traced.
Rebecca is a business person with her own studio, located in San Antonio, Texas. She was going to move down to LA where YouTubers roam, but in 2020, COVID-19 happened. That didn't turn out well for anyone, including Rebecca, but she later recovered. Recently, she started to work with a storyboard and background artist that made her work 10 times better than before, such as how I hired a musician for my videos, and a background artist for a secret series I'm working on later. Now, truth be told, while I find her content entertaining, as it's very well animated and narrated,
she was clearly the loner weirdo geek in her own class. Proof that perspective is everything.
Maybe one day I'll be as cool as her.
I personally don't find it funny. But then again, my favorite comedian is Thea Vidal, a artist who's definitely not for kids.
Don't no man want no bony bitch. They want something with a little meat on it.
But with nearly 3 million subscribers, she's doing a lot right. So let's dive on in to her channel content. There are many things you should do when first creating a YouTube channel. Creating an eye-catching yet easy-to-type username, something purely unique about what you do, and good overall branding. Like me telling you about how you should stay to the end of the section to see what I'm drawing right here. But that's just one thing. However, if you want to follow this recipe, you'll get pretty far, except the other thing you need is recognition. For starting artists, this would be drawing fan art of something you like, or in the case of most of YouTube, is knowing other YouTubers. And this helped out Rebecca, as she worked extensively with Danebo, and later Jane James and Something Else YT during her early career. Talking with YouTubers can get you a better sense of the algorithm, and also just help promote each other's works. I recently found the channel Fiersona, as they commented on one of my Twitter posts. I watched their content, DM'd them, and there you go.
Hey, that's me, Fiersona.
Go watch your stuff. But you must have content to watch, or no matter how many shoutouts you get, no one wants to go see your bog standard Minecraft Let's Play, no matter how many times you yell, "I died." And a good reminder when collabing with other YouTubers is for them to post about it on Twitter, or even just retweeting your post. For a recent example, Technical Anthem made a great claymation video including Rebecca. She commented, "You deserve all the subs." Those are some kind words, but perhaps he'd have more if you just retweeted his video on Twitter. This exact thing happened with Quentin Reviews, a channel I talked about before. As despite having a sizable amount of people in this collab extravaganza, full of like million sub people, most of them never actually tweeted about it or even just retweet it, which affected his views. Of course, this probably wasn't out of malicious intent, as sometimes you forget. So just asking, hey, could you please retweet this? Goes a long way. And it looks like Quentin's going for round 2, so best of luck to him. Along that way, uploading consistently also helps retain an audience, and for Rebecca, although she doesn't make as many videos as she did in the past, she is still keeping an average track for once every 2 months, except for 2020. This is because of COVID, and she was out of the country for a bit.
But when I came home from that trip, I immediately got sick. And no, it wasn't the dreaded virus that shall not be named, though trust me, I know that would have made a great video, but recovery was another delay.
Although her upload schedule is particularly slow considering the work she puts into her cartoons, she was also fortunate to cultivate an audience willing to wait even 3 months for a new cartoon. Few YouTubers are able to do this, kinda like making speed paints as your main content. As one of the 3 things I tell young artists and old artists not to do on the platform, besides not tracing, is to not do speed paints as they're ungodly boring. Unless you have an engaging personality like Hopeless Peaches, and here they are in the video.
Hey, that's me, Hopeless Peaches.
And of course, if this isn't your normal type of content, say storytime videos, you might get whiplash when waiting for content. In 2018, Rebecca had a hot streak in terms of views and stories, with one today having 17 million views. But how can you top September's VidCon video with all this support? Well, October 5th, she released a short, and later a speed paint October 14th. Well, those are good views, you might say. Yes, but she did the second thing you shouldn't do on your main channel. Updates/advertisement videos. You see, between October and December, when an actual story was released, Rebecca released an advertisement for merch. And putting you in the headspace of a Rebecca Parham fan in 2018, you've been waiting an entire month for a story. You saw in your notification bar that Rebecca released a new video. Oh boy, oh boy. After a month of waiting, I can't wait to watch her new funny story. Oh. Here's an advertisement. You shouldn't misconstrue my words, as advertisements in videos are fine, necessary even, especially when it doesn't detract from the video. I mean, like 30 seconds out of a 10-minute video? Skip. But waiting an entire month only to get disappointed? Whew. Also going through the backlogs of her channel, you will see more experimental content. Noting this update video, speed paint even song, as you grow your audience, you'll start to see what kind of content they want from you. Judging by views, Rebecca's audience isn't as keen on speed paints or update videos. However, a recent unlisted video is actually an oddball in terms of views. Despite being a 1-minute update video that was shortly unlisted later, it managed to get number 9 on trending, which most likely pushed it view count wise compared to the previous video we talked about, and could explain Rebecca's lack of incentive to upload more frequently. As if even an animatic can get on trending, why should I break my hand for monthly uploads? But this is just speculation. With all the talks about her stories, perhaps we should look at them? Probably? Yeah, sure, let's look at my drawing first. Haha, there it is. Rebecca Parham is like any other storytime animator, except she herself is a very good animator that doesn't really use sound effects.
Now at this tiny school, we didn't have a cafeteria, we all ate in the gym.
You see, in a more realistic setting, with physical humor,
Most of my classmates didn't like me and picked on me from time to time.
it might be in your best intentions to add sound effects. Doing so adds weight to what's going on. Everything from a locker close, bite, or even window slide can be emphasized by using a sound effect.
She grabbed my wrist and bit down as hard as she could. I screamed.
You might say, why are you telling Rebecca to do this? Not really saying she should. It's more of she used to, and then sometimes doesn't. Rewatching her 2 newest videos, one in December and one in not in December, there's a sparing use of sound design.
You're up.
Just as long as we don't close the...
Distance.
Yeah.
Did the budget dry up this season? Can we not grow sound effects within this 4-month dry soil? And if you don't want to record your own sound effects, Sound Bible offers free commercial use on royalty-free sound effects. Free! I'd recommend using sound effects throughout the video rather than once or twice, so you can make the cartoon feel more immersive. A small note to mention is safe margins and why they're useful. Within Premiere and other editing programs, you can see this title safe and action safe overlay that shows you where to place text. I often see animators not even using this, and looking over at Rebecca's The Last VidCon recap, she obscenely put it below the margins. On YouTube, this causes your text to kiss the timeline of the video and just get covered up by the timestamp. Moving on to the big bucks, Rebecca is very good at posing, objects, wardrobe, and animation. Within each video, she takes time to change up the character's wardrobe, which throws out the trope that cartoon characters wear the same clothes every day. With the visual distinction right there, unfortunately, the faces are the aspects that are mainly the same. Foregoing mouths is a stylistic choice, no problem there. Rebecca has to rely on circular and ovular heads to make production go faster. It's understandable and unfortunate that, with her small team, we probably won't see too many stylized characters anytime soon. Oh, except for background characters. On a higher note, Rebecca has a great singing voice, and her love for musicals is ever prevalent in her videos. Asking my audience about this, they seem to have preferred Hamilton, while I like the Book of Mormon, and Rebecca liking this. Clip.
Into the Woods, Sweeney Todd, The Lion King, Les Mis, Little Shop of Horrors, The Pirates of Penzance, Phantom of the Opera, Cats, The Producers, and... alright, Wicked.
But perhaps that counterfeit dad is right. As they said,
I do not listen to music. Theater kids listen to music.
but moving back to Rebecca, she's an avid singer on and off her channel.
Of all the boys I've known and I've known.
And although other popular animators also have songs, Rebecca's actually came out first, so it's not the case of, if they have a song, I want one too.
Some until I
And she also mentioned this.
I would love to do my own original song and a music video to accompany it. I have covered a song on my channel before, but I really want a piece of music that is uniquely mine. Problem is, I have no brain for writing music.
But the thing we must note on now is, although she's a great singer,
first met you, I was lonesome.
we must talk about her voice acting. But, do you want to see this drawing right here? Different. When voice acting is done well, the audience can lose themselves within the world of the cartoon. And in regards to Rebecca, she considers herself a voice actor. However, in regards to Rebecca's videos, the voices she often puts on is just herself. And a terrible thing when it comes to branding on YouTube is that the person you're collabing with might just ask you to, hey, do your regular voice so people will recognize you.
Whatever, let's just get this over with, Richard. Wait, what happened to all my outfits?
Depending on how well the voice is done and the direction given, it might actually break the illusion and realize that you're just a sad person alone in a room watching a computer monitor and drinking
You
rum.
guys want to come over and see them sometimes? You can. They're really nice, except crap.
And so today I'm going to subject you to a bunch of Rebecca's voices to see how she can improve. But who are you?
Hi, I'm Ulay Tiger and I am a voice actress. I mostly do not safe for work type of things, but I'm pretty knowledgeable in both safe for work and not safe for work, and I also do a bit of art here and there.
The more you struggle, the more powerful I become.
I never thought I'd say this, but this is the single most boring.
Whoa, that's a pretty cool range and career you got. Well, let's start with this video.
She stood there chatting with us until she spied Greg's journal.
Ooh, what's this?
Don't touch it, it's my journal.
A journal? Come on, let's see it.
And now here's the voice she did for her mom.
I got in and silently awaited my fate. Hey, sweetie, we're gonna be here a little bit longer. We're waiting on your sister to get out of basketball practice.
What'd you think of that?
It sounds like her, but it's more, the delivery is more momish, if that makes sense. It's still the exact same tone, pitch, everything, just a bit more stern in feeling.
And lastly for this video, here's the principal.
Well, because both of you were horseplaying in the bathroom, you're both in trouble.
Horseplay?
I'll be calling your parents today. Rebecca, you'll be getting 5 demerits.
So what can you gather from this voice?
See, I like the delivery of it, I do. I just don't like the voice because it is meant to be a man from what I can see, and it pulls me out of the story a little bit because there's not much difference between when she's narrating compared to when the principal is talking.
Do you think her doing vague accents is a crutch to actual performing?
I was going to ask, what is up with the British posh accents for every adultish character? Does she have a theatre background? She sounds like she does.
She is a theater kid.
Ah, okay. There we go. It might actually be the theatre background. They teach you that an accent, that, you know, they give British accents to villains a lot. It's almost like she's trying to vilify whoever's talking by giving them an accent to make them seem like more otherworldly. Like, oh, well, I am holier than thou.
Seniors take precedence in casting because they're graduating.
And I thought, okay.
Moving right along, I'm gonna show you a bit of another video.
I'm about to drag you into something you're gonna regret. You wanna go out on the roof? Go what, do, where now? Don't worry, I've done this lots of times, and nothing bad ever happened.
So those are supposed to be two different people.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, she did at first with the very first line. She's like, well, I'm sure you're gonna do this. But then she sort of reverted back to her own voice.
Have you seen this before with other voice actors?
No.
No?
No, because a lot of people I work with, they will just... There's a culture of collaboration with the people I work with anyway. If you can't do a voice yourself convincingly, you just sort of ask to bring somebody else on. Especially myself, I can't do high voices that well. But there are a lot of voice actresses I know who can. So it's no big deal just to ask, hey, like, I've got this little girl in a YouTube video, I can't voice her.
And what would you say to her use of vague accents?
Stop it. Why? Did you have a British teacher? I've never heard a British person talk like that, but I think that is what she's going for, is it's like it's posh, it's a villain. It's to try and mask her voice in a way to make it sound different, but it doesn't really sound different just because it has an accent.
Thank you to the Great Ulay Tiger for giving me a helping hand, or in this case, voice, in regards into analyzing Rebecca's voice. And now I present to you a perfect recreation of Rebecca Parham's voice acting abilities with the help of Ulay Tiger. Enjoy.
Here's that guy Bob from Bob's Burgers. Hi, I'm Bob from Bob's Burgers. How about that show Archer? You watch that show Archer? Hi, I'm Archer from that show Archer. Thank you.
While I talked about character branding in the Chip Flake video, we're gonna cover a different assortment in this one. Starting off with social media, Rebecca advertises her Twitters, Instagrams, and Facebook within each description of the videos. However, the uses of these mediums are peculiar, to say the least. To start off, clicking the Facebook page, it doesn't exist. Her Let Me Explain Studios Twitter account is heavily inactive, with the last post from 2019 and the previous one from 2018. But who knows? Maybe Rebecca will pop up on your timeline and turn you into a ghost story. On a more positive note, her two Instagrams are actually quite useful. One is more for business, while the other is more for personal use, so keeping it separate is really good. Of course, you could just combine it to one, but sometimes people just want to follow for your work. We'll talk about her main Twitter in a second, but on another note, I do like her second channel. And she used to make these fireside chats where she voiced over updates on her content. As mentioned before, having updates on your main channel does clunk up your video catalog, so having the second channel gives her fans updates, which is a great thing to see. But if that's not your thing, or you can't wait for Rebecca updates, then you should go check out her Twitter page. It's very interesting. Back in 2017, Rebecca was vocal about her YouTube demonetization, despite being in the YouTube Rewind. And not surprising to say, in 2018, she wasn't invited back, and in 2019, she chuckled about how bad it turned to be. There's probably a lesson there. Now's a good time to talk about merchandise. No, not mine that you can buy using the link in the description below. I'm talking about Rebecca's merch. And some of her best sold merch include the Ghost Story and the 2020 Witch of the Woods line. Part of the reason why they're probably sold well is because they're evergreen. You can wear it and go, hey, that's a nice non-YouTuber shirt. But some of her worst selling is this lanyard, pins, and 2018 Halloween merch.
This is a limited edition, limited supply collection. We were only able to make so many, so when they're gone, they're gone.
You can infer that her audience isn't as keen on purchasing her logo or character, as noted by this limited edition tube tumbler. A site-wide promotion to compete with U2's, Rebecca purchased stock of 500, while Something Else YT ordered 1,000. And now it's been about 6 months since release. He sold his, and you can still buy hers. Funny note, as I actually have 2 of each, as Creator Inc. shipped some severely damaged goods the first time around, but this is not a slight on her, but rather the company itself. Rebecca's store as it stands today is a mix-match set of items that all points back to, I'm a fan of Rebecca, but I don't really want to buy her character. If she keeps producing merch that her audience doesn't really want, then she'll end up like Tomska, with a garage full of socks. Overall, Rebecca's content is good, and I'm glad to see her on the platform. But it's the small chocolates on the chip that make the whole cake. Types of content, voice acting, and even branding all make a good successful channel, and I hope you learned as much as I did, talking about me being alone and sad in a dark room of room.
I sure learned a lot. Me, the subject of this video.
No? Why would you think that?
Well, in your teaser you said infamous, so...
No, that's not what I was going for. At all.
So are you gonna review me again?
If you're wondering where Rebecca is, as in the previous 2 videos, I actually spoke with the person I talked about. I actually emailed her back in 2018 with the email you see right now. Of course, what happened with the email should be best saved for another video, as it relates more to another person who read the email and took it the wrong way. So subscribe if you want to see what that's about. It's scary. Special thank you to Curio for quality control, and if you want to go check out more of her works, then go do that. Special thank you to my patrons on screen, and if you want to be part of these cool people, you know, by receiving updates and pre-release videos, then come join my Patreon. And now for the next few minutes, I'm going to review a drawing tablet, because I like to review technology. So if you don't want to stay for that, then please, don't forget to have Simbans sent me over the PicassoTab to look at in this non-paid review. Running these low-end specs on screen, I was surprised regarding performance about this drawing tablet, considering the price. Yes, with 1024 pressure levels, this is not like any normal Android tablet, so since it can detect pressure, it's good for sketching, but personally hard for drawing since I'm used to 8192 pressure levels. I would recommend this for anyone who wants to start drawing through sketching, wants a really good N64 emulator utilizing the USB-C port, or just a separate device from a normal work computer to relax. However, the one thing I dislike is the lack of Thunderbolt support, so you cannot charge when using the USB-C dongle. A mini HDMI port is nice for an external display, but Thunderbolt surely missed. Overall, good device for the price, 7.5 out of 10. But until next time, thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to have